Hello, this is Shan Chandrasekar welcoming you to another delightful part of our programming. As part of the Achievers, we brought you some of the finest of highly accomplished people from around the world, the biggest of industrialists, politicians, prime ministers of nations, presidents of nations, people of the highest caliber in various walks of life, art, culture, Oscar winners. We are very delighted to present an outstanding individual, a great Canadian who has made a great contribution personally and professionally. He is none other than the President and Chief Executive Officer of one of the finest financial institutions of international stature, none other than the Scotiabank. Brian, what a pleasure to see you again.
Shan, nice to be here. Thank you.
Brian, my hearty congratulations to you. You've created history that you recently announced by a whopping $800 million sponsorship of naming one of the most famous venues in this country, and it's going to be called the Scotiabank Arena. Our hearty congratulations to you. Tell me about the significance of this incredible initiative.
Well, thank you, Shan. We're very proud of the initiative, and it's not only the naming of the Scotiabank Arena, but the sponsorship of Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment, where we've had a long affiliation with MLSE. But it's a chance to reach Canadians from coast to coast. The Scotiabank Centre will be the busiest sports and entertainment complex of its kind in Canada and the third busiest in North America. And it really dovetails into our sponsorship of hockey across Canada. As you may know, we sponsor 800 amateur hockey teams across the country, and we're very proud of that. And that's been a big part of our initiative at a grassroots level. And obviously we've had a sponsorship with agreement with the NHL, so this dovetails in very nicely.
Fantastic. Scotiabank is one of the well-known financial institutions. In the good old days, it used to be called the Bank of Nova Scotia, and the name got changed to Scotiabank, I guess. So tell me a little bit about the composition of Scotiabank and the scope of the operation.
Well, the bank is 185 years old.
Wow.
It was started in Halifax in 1832. So to put it in context, the bank's 185 years old and Canada's 150 years old. So, and we're very proud of our heritage. We've got a very rich, proud past, and we indeed think we have a very bright future. And we've operated, today we have approximately 90,000 employees, and over 51,000 of those would reside outside Canada.
Wow.
So in our operations in the Caribbean, Central America, Mexico, Peru, Chile, Colombia, and of course in parts of the US and Europe and Asia. So we're Canada's international bank. We're very proud of that distinction. And but Canada's home, and it always will be.
That's wonderful. You've had an incredible background and association with Scotiabank from day one. Nearly 3.5 decades of your involvement at various senior levels. I don't think there's any major function that you have not had that hands-on experience. And you've been group head for a number of these divisions, including global banking, group treasury, and global risk management. Now, the first two are a bit more easy to understand. So what is meant by global risk management?
Well, we're in the risk business. We make loans to people, we make loans to small businesses, corporations, and we also do a lot of other things. We trade FX, we provide risk management solutions for our customers around the globe. So, risk is a big part of what we do, and if there isn't any risk, then there isn't any bank. So, in terms of the different types of risk we manage around here, credit risk would be an obvious and first one. Liquidity risk, how do we manage our own balance sheet? Reputational risk, we're worried about the risks that are out there that we have to be aware of and cautious about. Geopolitical risk, you can't be in 55 countries around the world without thinking about what's happening in the politics of an individual country and how countries are run. So there's lots of different risks. we manage here. We have a comprehensive group of 1,000 professionals here in Toronto and located around the globe that really help us manage all these.
Incredible. Talking about risk management, a few years ago in the United States, in the US subprime mortgage crisis, some of the financial institutions had problems, and I can't remember the names, but something like Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and organizations of that caliber. But Canadian banks were very safe. So what is the secret of that success? How did Canada maintain its poise during that crisis period?
Well, I've often been asked that question. I think it comes a number of different factors, Shan. First of all, good old Canadian common sense and good judgment, I think. And as I said, we're 185 years old, and we want to continue to grow and prosper, not just here in Canada, but throughout our footprint. So, we run the bank thinking longer term. And as a public company, sometimes that's hard to do. But we think about what do we want to look like in 5 years, 10 years? Where do we want to be? How do we do that? So we're not, we had, and other Canadian banks had the opportunity to buy some of this product and said no, because it didn't fit in the appetite and the consistency and predictability we want to deliver to our customers and all our other stakeholders, our shareholders, our regulators, and the communities where we live and work. So we think of it as a long game. We're not attracted by things that may be immediate, and we bank the real economy. We provide mortgages for people. We help people plan for retirement. We help small businesses get their first loan, and we help commercial businesses and corporate businesses invest in plant and equipment and grow for the future. That's what we're all about.
You spoke about risk management, and it was interesting because risk and rewards go side by side.
That's right.
And again, our congratulations. So the rewards have been, well noticed recently. Your third quarter was fantastic, and you had an incredible net income of over $2.1 billion, and it compared to $1.9 billion for the same fiscal year, the previous quarter of the last year. It resulted in a return on equity of almost 14.8%, extremely impressive. And congratulations on increasing the dividends as well to all your shareholders. How do you feel about this success?
Well, it's it just isn't. We just don't view success on a quarterly basis. We're thinking again of what does our bank look like 3, 5, 7, 8 years out, and we're proud of our operations outside Canada. A good part of our results, we had record results in the Canadian bank this quarter, which we're very proud of, but we also had record results in the international bank, largely driven by Mexico, Peru, Chile, and Colombia in the Caribbean. So, it's nice that our businesses are all performing very well. But we know, it can be a cyclical business, and there can be adjustments that impact our business from time to time. But we're proud of our third quarter results, and we look forward to delivering strong fourth quarter results.
Technology is advancing at such a rapid rate that sometimes regulatory policies in most affluent nations cannot even keep pace with it. And online banking is one such thing, that was technology driven. And Scotiabank has become a leader with respect to online and mobile banking. So tell us about this initiative.
It's an important part of our business, and in some regards, we're in the technology business and happen to deliver a financial services product. If you walk 10 minutes east here on King Street, right in downtown Toronto, you'll see the Scotiabank Digital Factory. And there'll be 400 people in there, and they're software programmers, digital scientists, digital analysts, user design specialists, and they're all working on different solutions for our customer. How do we, as Scotiabank, be more relevant to our customers, provide a product in a more efficient, cheaper form? And so that's what we're working at. There's similar factories in Mexico City, Bogota, Colombia, Santiago, Chile, and Lima, Peru, because those are important operations for the bank. But it's really around, today, technology is changing our business dramatically, and it's around the customer preference. Customers' preferences are changing. So today, 80% of transactions are done outside the branch, believe it or not. So day-to-day transactions like cashing a check, paying your Visa bill, transferring monies from one account to the other, those are either done through our Scotiabank internet page, or they're done on people's mobile device. And that number is only going to increase. So customers' preferences are changing, we want to be more relevant to our customers with special offerings, and the banking's changing.
That's fantastic. You know, somebody told me that Scotiabank is so international and your presence in other parts of the world is so prominent that there's probably more people who do business with you in third language than frankly in English and French probably put together. And talking of Canada, Canada's landscape is changing. The demography, the population is changing in this country. There's a huge multicultural population right now, and you recognized that quite a while ago, and very consciously implemented you know, people from multicultural communities into senior positions in your operation, implementing multicultural banking, and or also introducing newcomer services.
It's a very important part of our Canadian banking network, and multicultural banking is, you know, Canada is a country of immigrants. and that's not going to change, and Canada is going to continue to welcome immigrants to this country. I think it's 400,000 or 500,000 a year.
Right.
And that makes Canada stronger, and so we recognize that early on, and we've got particular services. So if we've got a Start Right program, so if people are new to Canada, that we can give them a credit card and they can start to use that immediately, and we can set up banking accounts. We can even start the process before they get to Canada. So it's an important part of what we do for our customers, but it also speaks to who we are as a bank. We've had operations in India since 1973. We've had operations in China since 1981, I believe. So we recognized the forces of globalization early on, and the impact it would have on Canada. So we're proud of those initiatives.
Tell us about the uniqueness of the Scotiabank Passport debit card.
Well, thank you for asking. It's another debit card where you can earn Scotia Reward points, and you can use those points for travel or for merchandise or gift cards. And it's another product in our offering around debit cards, whether it's a cashback card or part of our Scene program. So it's you know, we're always trying to update our product offering and again be more relevant to our customers.
Our hearty congratulations to you again, both personally and through the bank. You've received several awards, 9 Ipsos awards, very impressive. And recently, the Global Finance recognized your bank as one of the safest banks in the world. How did that make you feel?
Well, you know, it's always nice to be recognized by a third party, and that would be one that we're particularly proud of because we work hard at that. And you know, you asked a question earlier about risk management. That's what risk management is about. Is, you know, we take deposits from individuals and we recirculate that in the economy in the form of loans. And we take a lot of pride in the fact that we've been doing that. We've been doing that well for a long period of time. But you know, it speaks to who we are and our culture, and the team here at Scotiabank is that we take a lot of pride in those accomplishments. And whether it's one of the safest banks in the world or other awards we get, whether it's customer service related or what we do in terms of human resources, we're very proud of those.
You know, small business is almost the backbone of any country's economy, and Canada is no exception. Canada is composed of enormous number of you know, extraordinary entrepreneurs who have started from scratch, and they've really built up, you know, sometimes huge corporations from the beginning. Now, you have always recognized the importance of small business, and recently, our congratulations to you. As a result of that, as recognition for that, the Canadian Federation of Independent Business gave you a fantastic award for, you know, helping small business. Tell us about that.
Well, again, we're very honored to receive that. And, you know, it's backing small business in Canada is critically important for some of these businesses to get their first loan and to be an entrant in the banking system. And that's very important for them. And it's not just small business, it's the whole ecosystem of business. You know, because a lot of small businesses need the big companies as in terms of how they operate. So it's important to have the whole ecosystem of business working, and that's been a big part of Canada's success. And you know, some of the relationships we have in the bank, these are small businesses that we gave original loans to over 100 years ago, and today they're major corporate clients, and we're very proud of that, to have been a partner with them and see them grow.
You know, you've had a tremendous academic career. You know, you have a B.Comm, a Bachelor's in Commerce degree from Dalhousie University. And you also you're a graduate in advanced business learning from Harvard. What a prestigious school. And you have an honorary doctorate from Dalhousie again. When you were very young, what was your aspiration? When you were in high school, what did you want to be?
Well, I always wanted to be associated in business, and I always had an inkling towards capital markets because I was fascinated with markets and how they change and what drives the volatility in a market. So, look, I've been very fortunate in my career. I've been part of this organization since 1981. They've given me a ton of opportunity to do whatever I wanted to do, and I've had experience across the bank. And in a lot of regards, it's felt like I've worked for different companies, but it's all under the Scotiabank umbrella, and that's what makes us unique. But it, like any other business, it comes down to people. I'm very honored and privileged to be in this role, but I'm also very thankful for those before me who gave me the opportunity.
Again, the Government of Canada recognized and gave you an Employment Equity Award. With nearly a whopping 89,000 employees, that's an incredible accomplishment. So tell us about that.
Well, it's again, we're very honored to be recognized, and as an organization, we take a lot of pride in our people. Our business is all about our people, and we want to give them the tools they need to succeed. So whether it's proper onboarding or proper training or mentorship along the way, we're there to provide help for our employees to succeed. So, the best investments we can make are in our own people or in our own business. And we're very proud to do that.
Your own career, you've got so many accolades and accomplishment after that. You've also participated, in the Business Council and the Councils of the Americas. So tell us a little bit about this function.
Well, the Council of Americas is a network that was actually started by David Rockefeller, who was the former CEO and chairman of what is today J.P. Morgan. It was then Chase National Bank.
Wow.
And Chase had an interest in substantial operations through Latin America, and it was all about the cooperation of the Americas, North America and South America. Mm-hmm. And so I've been on the board there for a few years and thoroughly enjoy it, and it dovetails nicely into our operations in Mexico, Peru, Chile, Colombia, Uruguay, and through Central America and the Caribbean. And so it's been very helpful for me in terms of meeting policymakers, thought leaders, politicians, wherever we operate.
You're also the vice chairman and treasurer of the Washington-based prestigious institution, from what I've heard, the Institute of National Finance. What exactly does this, entail?
Well, the IIF is a unique organization, and we have meetings next week in Washington surrounding the IMF meetings. But the IIF is really a collection of global banks, asset managers, sovereign wealth funds, some hedge funds, insurance companies, and we get together and talk about different, if it's regulatory policies, we talk about financial stability, whatever the ideas of the day are. And it's very helpful for me to talk to some of my peers around the globe. And we get a lot of very interesting speakers there. So we meet generally 2 or 3 times a year, and it's a very helpful set of meetings for me.
On a personal side, you're very passionately involved in some very important charitable activities. There's several of them, mm-hmm. out of which one is really striking is you're the chair of the University Health Network Board of Trustees. Mm-hmm. It's an incredible organization comprising of 2 major hospitals coming together. Tell us about your role in this.
Well, UHN is, it happens to be located in downtown Toronto here on University Avenue, but I view it as a national asset. It mm-hmm. truly is. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of interesting research. It's an academic hospital. It has a strong affiliation with the University of Toronto. And I get to work with some really engaging, thoughtful medical professionals. And a lot of very interesting work gets done at UHN, whether it's transplant work. There's over 500 transplants, organ transplants there a year. Princess Margaret is obviously one of the leading cancer hospitals in the world. Toronto Rehab, again, is one of the top facilities of its kind in the world. So, we've got a collection of assets here in downtown Toronto that are indeed world class, and I get the opportunity to work with some of the world's leading practitioners in medicine.
Well, that leads me on to a very exciting new gala that is taking place, in which again your support is deeply appreciated. I'm very honored to be a member of that committee, along with pioneers and entrepreneurs like Sam Ajmera, who took the leadership. Sam, when he called me and he said, Shan, I want to create the Brazilian ball of the community by having this Diwali Gala, and it's Scotiabank presenting the Diwali Gala. Hearty congratulations on this concept. So tell us about this exciting event and the importance of fundraising.
Well, I should thank you and some prominent members of the Indian community for coming to visit me and saying, that this would be a unique opportunity for Scotiabank to be involved in. And we're very proud to be the lead sponsor. And again, it speaks to who we are in the community. And, it's about UHN, and it's about enlightening Canadians on Diwali and the festival itself, and also the fact that this is a very important fundraiser for the hospital. And the proceeds of this will go to the diabetes care and to the transplant team, which the funds will be very well used.
It was such a pleasure meeting, Mrs. Porter. Megan is a wonderful young lady, and your 3 children. So tell me about your family.
Well, thank you for asking, Shan. Is that Megan and I have been married for 31 years, and I'm
hearty congratulations.
I'm very fortunate indeed, and we have 3 lovely children, and our son Marshall is 25. He's just finished his 2nd year of his CFA exams, and he works for an asset management company across the street, and he loves the financial world and all its complexities, and so he's fully engaged in his work. Our eldest daughter, Anna, is just graduated from university in the U.S., and she's working for a public relations firm here in Toronto, so it's her first full-time job, and she's very much enjoying that. And our youngest child is, our second daughter, Ellie, is in her 3rd year of university in the U.S., so she's fully engaged in her studies, and so they're all well and prospering. Thank you.
It's wonderful. Well, may God bless you and your family. All the best with the Scotiabank as well. And by the way, thanks so much for sponsoring ATN's tribute to 100 years of Indian cinema, which is one of its kind in the world. And I'm so glad from day one, your bank has been very helpful to us in sponsoring this series.
Well, thank you for taking the initiative, and we're happy to be part of it.
We'd look forward to having you back on the show some other time.
Well, I'd love to do that. I really enjoyed this, Shan, and thank you for having me, and all the very best to you and your colleague.
It's such a pleasure. Great to have you.
Thank you.